Hello, a Better Lived Life crew. Let's talk caffeine. Like many of you, I'm hooked. I need it. In my case, it may also be a little bit of self-medicating for my ADHD. It helps me to focus at work and feel more awake. Before the pandemic, I was drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, but often didn't drink it on the weekends, unless I was doing something special that day. And when I say cup, I mean my work coffee cup, which is a little bit bigger than a standard mug. As the addiction grew and I craved caffeine on the weekends, I typically drank green tea as I knew it had a lower caffeine content. And one big thing, I could drink it without adding anything to it. So let's get this out of the way. If you drink black coffee, you don't get jitters, and you stop drinking early enough in the day that it does not affect your sleep, good news. I'm not talking to you. You like it? Drink away. Studies show that coffee does have beneficial antioxidants. The problem is all the weaklings like me have to add cream and sugar. We can't drink it black, and we don't know when to stop. Adding almost anything to your coffee to make it more palatable takes away from the health benefits, especially cream and sugar, even artificial cream and sugar. And even though I know I get jittery after my 3rd cup of coffee, when I was still drinking it, I would often drink that 3rd cup on days where I was just exhausted anyway. In denial, always hoping the jitters wouldn't come, but they always did. Before we get into why you should drink green tea, let's briefly cover why I don't mention black tea. And it's pretty much for the exact same reasons as coffee. It has about the same amount of caffeine as coffee, and most people drink it with cream or sugar. Green tea is better for most people for 5 reasons. Most green teas have a lower caffeine content than coffee. Many, it's down 1/3 what you would find in a cup of coffee. So that means that you aren't likely to have the high caffeine spikes as you drink your coffee. Instead, you're able to do a more level flow throughout the morning. Don't tend to get the jitters because you just don't spike and crash, generally. The lower caffeine level also means you are less likely to get dehydrated, which contributes to fatigue. So if we're not as tired, we don't feel as much craving for caffeine. 3, green tea is strongly correlated with prevention of Alzheimer's. I'll link a study in the notes below so you can read that yourself, but the number of studies that have come out at this point show some very promising aspects to green tea and Alzheimer's reduction in risk. Green tea tends to be less harsh on the stomach for most people, including myself, which means that when I drink green tea, I don't get that weird coffee stomach that it affects your mood, your energy, and the way the day flows. Number 5, again, because coffee is so much milder, because it is less intense, because it has less caffeine, most people don't need to put cream and sugar in it. They can adapt to it very quickly, plain, just the green tea, no additives. If you are ready to try green tea and are afraid it might be bitter, or if you tried green tea in the past and found it to be bitter, there's one quick and easy solution. Shorten your steeping time. It actually only takes about 30 seconds for the caffeine in tea to diffuse into the hot water. Anything after that is about getting more flavor. And while most green teas can be left for longer periods of time without getting bitter, which I love because ADHD, I walk away from my cup all the time. There are a small number of green teas that I've come across where they do get bitter if you leave them to sit for too long. So if you've had that experience, try a shorter steeping time. Most of my teas I steep for about 1 minute. There are a crazy number of green teas out there, flavored, mixed with fruit, different types of green, picked during different times of the season. They all have a little bit of a different flavor, so try some different ones. Personally, I have some that come in tea bags, but these days I get most of my green tea from Adagio. I would feel comfortable recommending them. I have enjoyed the vast majority of the teas I've gotten from there, and the ones I didn't were for flavor reasons, not because of quality. So I would recommend them. They are not a sponsor. My page is still so tiny that, yeah, no one's sponsoring me to do any videos at this point. Which brings me to my next point. See below, please like and subscribe. Let's help share this information, make somebody else's life a little better, share the prevention of Alzheimer's, help somebody else to have a better lived life. Now, go forth and do great things.